So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Okay, hey everybody. If you're watching us live, you realize this isn't the first time we tried to go live. Anyway, happy Friday, people. Thank you for tuning into the show. I am your sweet and lovable host. Yeah, I am. Even on the pickleball court. Stacy Lynn Harp. Don't forget, you guys can share this out. This is a show where we get to do whatever the heck we feel like it. Yeah, we can. We'll take your questions, comments, insults, whatever it is you want to throw at us. And, of course, I want to thank all of you guys who come in on the replay. You can share, and you can share it out, and you can tap the hearts, and all that stuff. But, of course, we have a couple of inflammatory topics to talk about at the top of the show. Not that, we would ever put a clickbait headline or anything. Hi, Melanie. Let's see who else is there. Well, other people. Hi, other people. I don't know who you are because I'm apparently not following you. Can you believe that? Well, if you're new to the show, let me tell you who I am. I am Stacy Lynn Harp, the president of Active Christian Media, also the host of Bible News Radio, which airs daily here on the internet on different live streaming platforms on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, all under the term Bible News Radio. Also, we do pull the audio afterwards. We put it on our iTunes and Spreaker account. And so if you are somebody who just wants to listen to audio, you can do that. And in fact, if you are an audio only person, please let me know because I need to, figure out my budget. It costs us money to keep iTunes up, and I show very few people actually that tune in. So if you're one of the ones that regularly tunes into our podcast, email me this week so I know whether or not I should renew or not. All right? All right, people. All right, so across the table is my bare face. It's my husband, Bareface.
Over here.
Yeah, he is.
Across the screen and across the table. On the right side of your screen.
I tell people who you are.
You just did.
Periscope's messing up for me again. Just so you know.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Let me see if I can.
Although I see us on Facebook.
I'm looking. Well, that's disappointing.
What? I gotta do that right there.
Yeah. The Periscope broadcast looks good to me.
Yeah, it's just not loading. Maybe it's my bad Wi-Fi. Okay. Well, while I'm trying to fix this, Randall can tell you a little bit about what's going on today on the show and welcome you all on Periscope while I figure out how I can get on here. Because apparently it won't let me on, and if I can't see you, then I can't talk to you. Unlike real TV and stuff, we actually like to talk to our audience because we know who you are. At least some of you anyway. All right, so...
well, this is Free for All Friday, which means, like Stacy said, we're going to talk about whatever we want to talk about, which is really the same as every day, only a little less structured today.
Finally got it.
All right, she's got it now.
We're up against Lance Wellno, who's like super famous and has 5 million followers and 400 and some people in his room right now, so everybody's over there. Except the few, the proud. Die-hard.
The Bible News Radians.
The Bible News Radians. Okay.
Radioans or Radions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, before we go any further, in the event that you happen to be a regular viewer of the show, I am also going to be tonight on Fearless Fridays with host David Gonzalez, and that's going to be on at 6 p.m. Central Time.
I didn't know you were going to go so soon with that.
On what? Oh, well. Oh, did you want to put up the graphic?
Well, I thought you wanted me to.
You did. Hi, Betty and Liz. I see you guys. Wait, who else is there that came in? Melanie. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's all I can see. Okay, so if you want to join us, though, at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time over on David's...
This graphic doesn't give any...
I know it doesn't. He made it, though.
Okay.
It's anyway. David's Periscope is Fearless Fridays, so just follow him over there. And
over where? Periscope? Just
on Periscope. I don't like clicks and popularity. Yeah, well, you wouldn't like the people I play pickleball with then. Because, there's a few clicks there, like the super...
When I first heard clicks, I thought like mouse clicks.
I know, I thought that too, but I know what she meant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, I didn't see it. I didn't read it. I just heard it.
Well, you don't have to worry, Betty. We're so not popular. We're not a threat to anybody. You know, it's so funny. One of the funny things about Bible News Radio is we've been doing this 13 years, except about 3 here on Periscope, Facebook. We've only been doing a little bit, but I have been on other people's programs that are way more popular than mine, and they won't. I mean, I've called out other organizations, and they just completely ignore me. I don't know what it is. I'm like the black sheep of the Christian right D media. I don't know. It's just I don't get it. And yet the funny thing is I get all the same people. I get high list guests, you know. Although I should say yesterday I mentioned that maybe I was going to get the Oak Ridge Boys on the show. Hey chaps, nice to see you, buddy. And you know what really irked me? Okay, this is how my day started, okay? You guys know I do everything, right? Besides what Randall does. I do everything. I book all the guests. I email people. I schedule. I hunt down topics. I do all the research. I talk and blah, 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 whatever. So I get this press release from this guy like a couple days ago about the Oak Ridge Boys. And I'm like, you know, that's kind of interesting. I mean, I know who they are. They're not really my core demographic. They're not my particular audience, but whatever. Okay, I'll just, you know, whatever. I just kind of threw it aside and didn't care too much about it. Nice new setup with the 2 face cams there. Well, cool. Yeah, we've been doing that for quite a while, chaps. Haven't tuned in quite a while. Anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in. We're going to get to an inflammatory story soon, so you might want to stay tuned. But anyway, so then yesterday I get an email from the publicist of the Oak Ridge Boys, and they say, you know, we would thank you for having Tammy Fender on, and we would like to ask if you'd be interested in interviewing the Oak Ridge Boys. And so they sent me a link, and they said fill out the form. And I thought, well, that's kind of good because that's kind of what I'm doing with Acuity Scheduling, my scheduling platform. You know, it's like doesn't take me 15,000 emails to book an appointment. I just send the link to the publicist. You pick the date, fill in my form, and boom, we're booked. So I fill in the form and send it, and I send the guy, who shall remain nameless, because he's guilty, I sent him a link to my Acuity, and I said, just, you know, pick the date, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. This morning, I got an email from them telling me, well, we looked at your thing, and we decided because of their schedule that we're not going to have, you know, they're touring, and so they can't come on your show. And I thought... And normally I would just go whatever, you know, but there are some days where people waste my time doing stuff like that. And I wrote the guy back. I said, look, I said, really? I said, basically you sent me, you asked for them to come on my show. I didn't ask you. I didn't hunt you down. You sent the link for me to do this. And now you're telling me no? I said, that's like psych booking. Psych. Yeah. Hey, do you want the Oak Ridge Boys to come on your show? Yeah. Okay. And so I actually told the guy, I said, I just want you to know that I could care less if they come on our show. They're not really my demographic as far as I'm concerned. I don't really care. Anyway.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Anyway, so I
don't really care.
I was venting to Randall about this more. I was like, really? I mean, why do that? And I told him, I said, look, if you're going to go ahead and do this and the excuse you're going to give is because of their touring schedule, then why did you pitch them to me in the first place? That's so irritating. But anyway, bygones. So, hi, Dorothy. And whoever else came in. I don't know who else came in. We got some sex bots, it looks like, on Periscope. Welcome, sex bots. Get saved. Yeah. Okay, so Randall, do you want to bring up the inflammatory story that you decided to name the show after?
Free for All Friday? That's not very inflammatory.
No,
About the unspeakable acts by Christian hatred?
Yeah, those Christian haters.
Well,
No, hey, that's...
There's an echo in
I
here,
know,
and here,
I got
and
it.
here.
Don't
and here.
worry.
All right.
All right. Gotta
All right.
mute that.
Well, this story coming out of voiceofeurope.com. Well, heck, I'll just bring it up on the screen. How's that?
Yeah, bring it up, smarty pants.
215 graves profaned by Muslim man were motivated by Christian hatred. On the 15th of April, 2015, while the cemetery's guards were eating, unlike the Roman guards who slept while Jesus' body was stolen. No, I'm kidding there. Anyway, 215 Christian graves were damaged in the cemetery at Saint-Roch de Castres. I don't know.
Are you speaking in tongues now?
No, Saint-Roch de Castres.
He got the gift.
In France. Anyway, a Muslim man was motivated in his unspeakable acts by Christian hatred, a judge has ruled today. Now, all right, stop the presses. A judge in France, that's kind of being overrun by
Muslims.
Yeah, Islam really, and French. Who are we to say, kind of thing. Very progressive, kind of left-leaning. So a judge in France to come out and say that something was motivated by Christian hatred. I mean, that's noteworthy. This is history, people. Anyway.
Hey, Pastor Rick. Nice to see you, buddy.
Anyway, when the horrific desecration of graves was discovered, French President François Hollande called the crime vile and promised that everything will
Plug-in lampstand. Hello, plug-in lampstand. Nice name.
Anyway,
sorry.
So,
I'm trying to interact with our audience.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
So, as stated in this article, the Pew Research Center has shown that there are now 6.1 million Muslims living in France, 8.8% of the total population, and 29% of them consider Islam's teaching superior to French law. And by quick calculation, almost 1,700,000 Muslims in France are, quote, extremists, unquote, racially clinging to Sharia above French law. So, there's my button.
You're welcome. What's your first name? Plug-in lamp stand, really? Just curious what your first name is.
So this crime here, this crime was committed 3 years ago, but apparently since this article came out recently, in the past couple of days, and said that the judge has ruled today, I'm assuming that it went to trial in France, and now, anyway, the judge is coming up with this. So, anyway, hats off to this guy. I don't know if he's Jewish or not, the French judge, but he certainly has chutzpah. Because, again, in France, and thinking about, they've seen the whole thing with the Charlie Hebdo magazine, and, the assassinations there based on a French magazine.
So Ralph from Columbus, Ohio is plug-in lampstand.
All right. Hey, Ralph.
And thanks for the super hearts, Melanie.
Oh, wow. That's very nice.
Yep.
So, where people were shot to death for publishing, a cartoon of Muhammad. So for this judge to come out and say, hey, these are unspeakable acts motivated by Christian hatred against a Muslim man, that takes a lot of guts. Just saying. And in my not so humble opinion.
Very cool. So there you go. Brave people everywhere.
Commentary? You got anything to say about it?
No. But that's interesting. What's this thing? This 3-2 periscope thingy that did Pastor Rick do that on? I just saw that. That's weird. That was like the periscope thing, and then the 3, 2, and 1. That's weird. Is that like a new?
No idea what you're talking about.
It's like a weird super heart, whatever. All right, this is the article I wanted to talk about. Okay, check this out. And if you get my email, you already got part of the article because I put it in there. All right, so this article comes from the Religion News Service. By the way, I should tell you that a lot of you email me and you say, hey, you know what? I like your show because I don't watch regular news and you bring me news that you think is important. This is kind of important. Listen to this. It's called, You Can Push for Public Displays of the Bible. Better yet, read it. Of course, we're Bible News Radio, so I was trying to find an article about the Bible. So it says here, the usual adversaries are at it again in the ongoing war over the place of the Bible and Christian faith in the U.S. Armed Forces. On behalf of 26 military families, the Military Religious Freedom Foundation is battling with the Navy over POW and MIA display at the Naval Hospital in Okinawa, Japan. Okay? At issue, here's the issue. The placement of the Bible alongside the POW, MIA, and American flags with a placard that says, the Bible represents the strength gained through faith to sustain those lost from our country founded one nation under God. Since the Okinawa news hit the media, the MRFF, aka Atheist Complainers, just so you know, says it has received complaints from 31 other U.S. military installations that have the Bible, including in their missing man displays. Who complains? The angry atheists are the ones that complain about this. It's nobody else. Do the Bible and faith statement in the POW and MIA displays violate the constitutional prohibition against the government promoting a religion? Or are they a harmless nod to the fortitude and comfort many soldiers derive from their country's majority religion? You can argue it either way, and believe me, those caught up in this drama are doing just that. But for those intent on maintaining the Bible's prominence in American culture, the POW and MIA displays are more symbolism and sideshow than anything of substance. There's a much bigger problem in civilian life in Americans' homes that ought to concern them. And this is where I actually quoted this in my email. The fact that even though, quote, the good book, unquote, is ubiquitous with the median American home containing 3 copies, it is seldom read, poorly understood, and to put it charitably, inconsistently followed. It's fitting that the Bibles on the POW and MIA tables are closed, used as symbols or sacred objects, rather than a book meant to be read for truth, wisdom, and inspiration. Because closed is how the Bibles in Americans' homes generally remain. Americans are fond of the Bible, don't actually read it, says a news release issued by the evangelical polling organization Lifeway Research a year ago. Lifeway finds that Americans generally have a positive view of the Bible and see it as a source of moral lessons still relevant for today, but more than half admit that they've spent little or no time reading it, and only 1 in 5 has read the whole book. Our low level of Bible reading explains why Americans tend to be frightfully ignorant about the text at the center of the religion that more than 2/3 of the population claim to follow. As evangelical leader Albert Mohler notes with alarm, polling finds fewer than half of Americans can name the 4 Gospels. That's actually sad, you guys. And 60% are unable to name even 5 of the 10 Commandments. Our rampant biblical illiteracy also helps explain why those most passionate about pushing the Bible in settings of dubious appropriateness, like the Naval Hospital in Japan, often press their case in deeply unbiblical ways. Mikey Weinstein, aka Atheist Complainer, president of the group that filed the Okinawa complaint, showed me some of the correspondence he has received. Let's just say that the writers of this vile and unprintable material demonstrate the opposite of the Jesus-style love your enemy teaching found between the covers of the Bible. That I would have to see it to believe it, because seriously, I don't know any Christians that would be nasty in their correspondence to somebody like him. I do know flaming gay activists that would, though, because I've seen that mail at my friend. So, and I've also gotten that, but Anyway, like the religion of which it is part, the Bible plays a contested and complex role in American culture. It's a symbol of national or, quote, tribal, unquote, identity, something to be aggressively asserted in an ongoing struggle between cultures on our soil and abroad. If yes, best to leave the Bible closed. It's easier to thump that way. But if, like me, you're convinced that the Bible actually has something valuable to say, all these centuries after its composition, it's better to have it in the open position, at least occasionally, and to read what's on its pages. You'll find it full of poetry, moral instruction, and stories and metaphors that help us make sense of our daily struggles. You'll find the penetrating insights of Jesus, which remain powerfully applicable whatever our beliefs about his divine status. The Invisible Bestseller, this is the apt title that religion journalist Kenneth Briggs used in his 2016 book on the fading prominence of the Bible in American life. The Bible, he finds, is in the curious position of both being everywhere and nowhere, frequently found in public settings and everyday households, but disturbingly absent from Americans' heads and hearts. If you're bothered by the fading role of the Bible, one response is to wax indignant, blame political correctness, and push the Bible harder. This was the move made by Hiram Sasser, general counsel for the group First Liberty Institute, when he was on the Todd Starnes radio show discussing the controversy about the Bible and the POW MIA display in Okinawa. Can you imagine if President Trump found out about this, that someone was complaining about a Bible being on a table? He'd probably put two on the table. He probably would. And then the article ends by saying, neither would be open. So Tom Crattenmaker, he writes on religion and public life and directs communications at Yale Divinity School. And his book is called Confessions of a Secular Jesus Follower. The views expressed in this commentary don't necessarily reflect those of Religion News Service, but this definitely caught my eye because there's actually a lot of truth in it. And I wanted to get your opinion, Randall, because obviously you and I read the Bible daily. We might not read it for hours, but actually I asked my question of the day yesterday was, how long do you read the Bible, and how often and how long? And I didn't ask that question to be judgmental. I asked it because I was really curious. I was surprised at how few answers I got, actually.
Well, I know nothing about this author other than what's stated at the end of the article, but his latest book, Confessions of a Secular Jesus Follower, I wonder if he's saying that he is a secular Jesus follower, that is, a non-believer in his divinity and his clear messianic claims and demonstrations, which are hard to miss, but he sees Jesus as a great moral teacher, which as C.S. Lewis said, he didn't leave that option open to us. But right. Anyway, the reason I bring that up was not to bring in Lewis's trilemma here.
Did you see Chaps's comment?
Oh, I didn't know.
On Facebook, he says Mikey Weinstein is such a fraud. He has 0 real customers, and he makes up numbers of claimants. I believe it. See, did you know I used your language, Chaps? Atheist complainer. Yeah, that's funny. Okay. Yeah, no, he is a joke. These people have too much time on their hands. But anyway. But what do you think? I mean, what do you think? Do you agree that the claim that, okay, the average American home has 3 Bibles in it? Apparently we're not very average because we have a lot more than that. Well,
where I was going with this, if the author of the article is a secular Jesus follower, that is, he doesn't accept Christ's claims to be divine, but likes what he said. And I thought maybe that because of one place in the article, whether or not you agree in his divinity. If in fact he is a secular Jesus follower, then here's someone who's not even a believer, is not a Christian, and has admiration for the scriptures. And that's sort of a scathing rebuke from a non-believer. Say, hey, you people who call yourselves believers don't know scriptures. And that Lifeway poll that was mentioned about, 50% being able to name the 4 Gospels? something like that.
Yeah, it was under 60%.
It's under 60%.
I think. I gotta go see now. I gotta scroll up or scroll down.
Yeah. Yeah, fewer than half. Fewer than half of Americans can name the four Gospels, and 60% are unable to name even 5 of the 10 Commandments. So fewer than half, less than 50% of Americans can name the four Gospels. I mean, I'm surprised that 60% are, that it says 60% are unable to name even 5 of the 10 Commandments. That means 40% are. So,
Well,
it's surprising 40% can name 5 of the 10 Commandments, yet less than half, 49% or less can even name the four Gospels. I mean, if you've never opened the book, certainly you've seen enough, read enough in pop literature.
So Gordon also, he said, Barna polling says 92% of Americans have Bibles in their homes, but only 33% of Americans read their Bibles outside of church. 2/3 have dusty Bibles. I live in the Bible Belt, and I would agree with that. I would. When I lived in California, on a Sunday afternoon after church, we would often go out to lunch with some of our friends after hearing a sermon, right, for however long it was. And I would always try to strike up a conversation about the actual sermon. And it's like, what'd you get out of the message? Did you get anything out of the message? I am constantly amazed at how little people read the Bible. And I think that's what this guy's point is. We're fighting for the right to have the Bible there next to, flags and all this other stuff, and it's the book of America. But how many of us can give a crap about what the heck is in the book? And basically so few do. And those of us who do, we get flack for it because, well, you're a hypocrite, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I've actually shared, okay, let's see, the Admiral says yes, but wouldn't you agree it's better to read the Bible and disagree with it than just dismiss it? Well, yeah, but the Bible also says that a person who isn't spiritually discerning isn't going to be able to understand it. You need the Holy Spirit to understand the Bible. So a secular, unsaved person without the Holy Spirit can read the Bible and go, well, this doesn't make any sense to me, but what kind of doesn't make sense, and this is stupid. They don't. That's why poor people are tithing to the rich. I don't understand that comment, but my point is, I've shared this before, but it's a funny story to me. I have a friend who is more of an acquaintance. She's an aqua aerobics teacher where I used to go do aqua aerobics a couple years ago.
And her home address is...
Yeah, and here's the thing. She was in the military, angry. Her dad was, I guess, a Christian and maybe even a pastor. I can't remember. But she was in there one day instructing us, doing all this stuff. And she knew I was a Christian. And so she's telling me how dumb the Bible is and how the Bible says this, this, and this. And I said, really? I said, I've been reading it for 30 years. I've never seen that in the Bible. She goes, well, I know because that's what I was just told, blah, blah. So I said to her, have you actually read the Bible? No, but I know it's in there. I was just like, okay, but you're telling me and all of us other women in here who actually read it what you just said? I said, explain that. And anyway, she got quiet because it was like, you want to debate me on the Bible? Not that I'm an expert, but if you're an atheist and you're saying that you don't read the Bible, but you're swearing up and down that's in the Bible, then who are you believing? To quote Benjamin Franklin, cleanliness is next to godliness, right? A lot of people actually think that's in the Bible, but it's not. I think it was Ben that said that. But people will say, oh, that was in the Bible. No, it's not. That is not in the Bible. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. And the guy makes a point. This is my point.
Oh, valid point.
My point is that he makes a point. If we're going to want to argue to have it publicly in displays and stuff like that, then why not read it? It should be in our heart better. People think it says God helps those that helps themselves. Yeah,
that's another.
Actually, yeah, it says that. We removed your
Infamous
post
one.
because it looks like spam. Go to your support inbox to learn more. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I just got a post from Facebook saying that they removed a post because it looks like spam. I wonder what post Facebook just removed from me. Let's see here.
Was it a picture of spam?
Ah, hey, persecution from Facebook. I'm on the map now. Listen to this. Okay, hey, this was just, chaps, if you're still watching, you'll love this.
This just in.
This just in. Okay, so we removed this post because it looks like spam and doesn't follow our community standards. Here's the subject line. Snopes is a sneaky liar about California's bill to ban Christian LGBT talk. So, thefederalist.com, that article that I talked about the other day and I shared on our show, Facebook just removed that post on Bible News Radio page. So I'm going to say, okay, let's see, it says here, this isn't spam, I didn't post this. I'm going to say, this isn't spam. If you don't think this post is spam, we can review it against our community standards. Yeah, okay, go ahead. You review it, you haters. And I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Our reply today. Thanks for letting us know about this post. We took other look and found it doesn't go against our community standards, so we've restored your post. We're sorry for the trouble and appreciate you taking the time to get in touch with us. How was your experience? I'll put a mutual face here, like that. I'm not going to put a happy face because what went wrong? How could it be better? I'm not going to even answer that. The other day, I posted Leviticus 18 where it says that homosexuality is an abomination just to see if they would remove it. And they didn't. It actually stood up. So that's kind of funny. I feel touched now, though, because clearly somebody reported the post. Otherwise, it wouldn't have even been brought to their attention. We're not that famous on Facebook.
Okay.
All right. So if you came in late, I want to let you know that you got removed too, chaps. Yeah, that's not surprising. Somebody probably did report it as spam, Melanie. That's my guess. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, if you just came in late, tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time, David Gonzalez, who is the host of Fearless Fridays, is going to actually interview me on his program. We're going to share. I have no idea what he's going to ask me, but I think it'll be fun. So you might tune in on Periscope at periscope.tv/Fearless Fridays if you want more. If you think I'm fearless. Yeah. Apparently I'm not. No, I am. No, I'm just kidding. I might not be. So, yeah. All right. The other story I wanted to bring up that I put into the email today was the one about North and South Korea. Now, this is particularly interesting to me, and I actually find this very interesting because my dad is a Korean War vet. My dad will be 90 in, hi, English dude. My dad will be 90 in July, Lord willing. He's doing really well, so I don't foresee him not being around. And I haven't talked to him yet about this story. But this is all over the internet. I pulled it from cnsnews.com, and I just want to read it. It says, leaders of North and South Korea agree on peace, unification, and denuclearization.
Something like that.
Okay, how do you say it?
Denuclearization.
You just said it quicker than me.
I didn't say nuclear. I said nuclear.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Are you actually correcting me again? Really?
Really?
Jeez. Okay. Out of his.
It's
You mock your wife. That's okay. Mock her.
I don't mock my wife.
Yes, you
I
do.
love my wife. My wife rocks.
That's a good save.
You were giving me a hard time with this gifted tongues earlier stuff, so hey.
Okay. All right.
So,
the article says, at a historic summit in Goyang, South Korea on Friday, the leaders of North and South Korea shook hands and declared peace in our time. Speaking through a translator, South Korean President Moon Jae-in with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un standing at his side said, "We had a historical meeting and reached a very appreciative and valuable agreement. There will not be any more war on Korean Peninsula, and a new era of peace has finally opened, and we are declaring that. The two leaders are expected to sign a peace treaty later this year, officially ending a war that began 65 years ago. Now, that's about right, because my dad is going to be 90, and he was in his he was young. He used to be young. Anyway, today Chairman Kim Jong-un and I have agreed that complete denuclearization, whatever, will be achieved, and that is our common goal, President Moon told a news conference. We will totally end the war on the Korean Peninsula and will establish a sound and solid peace on the Korean Peninsula. Moon said the measures announced on Friday will stop reckless confrontation and turn the demilitarized zone into a peaceful region. He also declared that safe navigation and fishing will be guaranteed. Well, that's special. Taking his turn at the podium, it should say lectern, people, just to be correct here.
Well, we don't know. Maybe they stood on a podium.
North Korea, Kim Jong-un said, speaking through a translator, "It took us a long time for the two Koreas to come together, to hold hands together, and we have long waited for this moment to happen, all of us. And as I stand here today, I see that South and North Koreans are the same people with the same blood and cannot be separated. And we are not a people that should be confronting each other, that we are the same people that should be living in unity. I hope that we will be able to live very peacefully in the future as soon as possible, and I also hope that we would establish a new charter and a path forward." Kim said he and his South Korean partner would sign the Panmunjom Declaration. I don't know how to say that. "While the whole world is watching us, I declare the peace and prosperity for the Korean Peninsula will never let us repeat our past mistakes." Notably, unlike President Moon, Kim did not use the word denuclearization in his remarks. Instead, he stressed peace and unification, maybe because he couldn't actually see the word, maybe he couldn't say it like me. But the document signed by the two leaders, the Panmunjom Declaration for Peace, Prosperity, and Unification, says the two countries confirmed the common goal of realizing through complete denuclearization a nuclear-free Korean Peninsula. They agreed to actively seek the support and cooperation of the international community for the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. The declaration also says families long separated may soon be reunited. Kim also has invited President Moon to visit Pyongyang later this year. Okay, so my question here, W pronounced it nuclear for years. Yeah, I know, I can't win. Okay, anyway, so I find this interesting for a couple of reasons, because from the Christian standpoint on this issue, North Korea persecutes Christians relentlessly, and South Korea actually doesn't. And so my question is, how are these two guys going to address this issue? And is this maybe possibly an open door to nicer treatment towards Christians in North Korea? That was my thought on it.
Yeah, similar thought, unification. How do you unify communism and a Western democracy or a republic even? Yeah, we've got one side where Christians are basically killed or sent to work camps for the rest of their lives, and we've got South Korea, which hosts, I think, the world's largest megachurch.
Probably.
And it's hard to imagine those two unifying if they can. I mean, what's the compromise? It's the DMZ being turned into a peaceful place. That's kind of interesting. I've never been there personally, but I've seen plenty of photos and video of the multiple rows of fences, and I believe there's even still landmines in place there. And of course, it's not to keep South Koreans out of North Korea. It's to keep North Koreans in North Korea. That's the primary reason for it. Because that's what we've seen over the decades is North Koreans, when they can, escaping, only they don't go the south route. They usually escape into China, into the mainland when they can. That's not as fortified as the DMZ between the two countries, North Korea and South Korea. But yeah, I mean, if they're serious about it, great, peace and safety. Awesome if it happens. But especially the denuclearization, because, just months ago, if not weeks ago, North Korea was doing nuclear testing, of their missiles and stuff like that. So,
hey, John, nice to see you. Dr. John is in the house from Canada over there on Periscope.
I know love believes all things, hopes all things, but given the track record of North Korea and its leadership, I'm having a difficult time grasping any kind of unification between North and South Korea.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about Israel, right? Because this is the 70th birthday of Israel. It's been celebrating now for a week or so. And, of course, as we know, May 14th, 1948, Israel was, quote, born. And all of that. And some of the breaking news today that was posted over on the Jerusalem Post has to do with our president, Donald Trump, who said he actually might go to the Jerusalem embassy opening. Because remember, they're putting the embassy in Jerusalem, which is the capital, the eternal capital of Israel. And it says here, what's interesting though is this article. It says U.S. President Trump praised the location in Arenona in West Jerusalem as an ideal spot. But then it says, it links to other articles. Trump won't attend Jerusalem embassy opening in May. New embassy quarter to be built in Jerusalem. So could be called Trump Town. Those were previous articles. Apparently it says here, U.S. President Donald Trump told reporters on Friday that he might travel to Israel for the opening of a new U.S. embassy there located in Jerusalem. I may go, the president said, very proud of it. Now, I have to tell you, I recently was on a webinar with some people in Israel. In fact, they were the people who produced the brand new Israel Bible, which is 2,000 pages thick. It's all the Old Testament, and it talks about the history of Israel from, the beginning to current events. And they were actually telling me that they had already heard that Donald Trump was going to be there for the opening. But this article here says, administration officials had previously said it was unlikely that Trump would lead the delegation, and that Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, senior advisor Jared Kushner, and Ivanka Trump, who wasn't it her? No, yesterday. Wasn't it Melania's birthday yesterday? The first lady? I think it was. Anyway, Ivanka is his daughter, would travel in his stead. Trump was speaking at a press conference with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, however you say her name. Asked about the embassy opening, he praised the location in West Jerusalem, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, and then it says here, the embassy is slated to open around Israel's 70th anniversary on May 14th. So, Israel is 20 years older than me. All right, so Chap says the North will not disarm and they will not open their borders. This is not a reunification, just the ceasing of hostilities. Just try bringing Bibles into the North. They'll still arrest you and shoot you. Yeah, regarding the Korean issue. I agree. We'll see. Do you think this would matter? Do you think any of this would matter in terms of Israel, though? Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? We gotta thank our sponsor. Hey, by the way, if you're brand new to the show, I gotta let you know we got a brand new sponsor this week. I'm super excited about it. Bullhorn, the mobile app. I am an official brand ambassador for Bullhorn, the mobile app. If you want to follow me on Bullhorn, go to getbullhorn.com. You can see the thing there, and you can download it on your phone if you're in America. As far as I know, they still don't have it available in Canada or other countries yet, but I'll talk to them about that. Anyway, download the app on your phone and then follow Bible News Radio. I put up a show update. I'm asking a question of the day, and we will be doing some conference calls and stuff on it. People behind Bullhorn are freeconferencecall.com, and they're Christian-owned and operated company. And one of the reasons I met these guys at NRB, at National Religious Broadcasters, and I told him when I met him, I said, look, I want to be your brand ambassador. And so we had a couple of phone calls, and a couple of months later, it has now been made a reality. This is in beta, so it's not the perfect app yet, but it's in beta. They've made a lot of improvements in the last couple of months, as I've told them some stuff I like. But the thing that I tout more than anything about Bullhorn is they are not going to silence my voice on it. They want us. They want people who pray. They want Christians. They want activists on it. Because their whole thing isn't about getting a gazillion followers on it. They want to network people and give people a safe place to connect where our free speech isn't going to be violated. So if you're not following me on the app yet, go to getbullhorn.com on your Android or Apple, and then follow me, Bible News Radio, or find my name and you just follow me and I'll follow you back. I think I got 33 followers right now. Something like that. It's hard to get people to convert to a new app. I find this out, but Randall's going to be putting, well, tell him what you're going to be doing on it, because I think that's kind of cool.
Well, as, whoops, I was meant to go solo with me, and I went solo with you.
No, I don't. I just think because it's free conference call, the phone numbers that they have, I don't think they're international yet.
Right, I think that's it, because it is based on their telephone network, basically.
Right.
But as some of you may know, I wrote a devotional book, almost 5 years ago, and published that 5 years ago. And anyway, it's not currently distributed, but my contract runs out in September. Anyway, I'm taking some of these devotionals that I've written and some I've recorded, and I'm going to be doing a daily 3-minute devotional. That's it, 3 minutes in entirety. No more, no less. 180 seconds. Putting up Monday through Friday. So, anyway, I don't have anything on my Bullhorn channel right now, but starting Monday, there will be. So, watch out for that. Not like watch out like a warning, but be looking for that. That's what I mean, not watch out. Be looking for that.
Yeah. Also, don't forget, this is the end of April, and Ariel Ministries Bible study this month is the Resurrection of the Messiah. Still downloadable. If you go to BibleNewsRadio.com, go to our resource page. You can click that link. Click the link over on BibleNewsRadio.com.
I just want to show this to them.
Okay, yeah.
Resources page.
The resources page. Anyway, go there. You'll see the Bullhorn thing there too. But you can click that. It will open right up into a PDF. Download it. And then, of course, you can save 20% on anything else in Ariel's store using the coupon code Bible News for now. Okay? And we have other stuff on there. We have Model Ballaston's teachings, who is a guest on our show all the time. And all this stuff on understanding the Bible in the context in which it's written from a Hebraic, perspective. I mean, you understand the Bible in the context it's written, it makes more sense. And then you understand why we stand with Israel. Just saying. And now that I know I'm Jewish, I mean, seriously, why would I not? So check that out. Also, if you want to be a pillar of our community, that just means that you love us so much you want to give us money every month. If you do that, then you can also donate. Pick your donation amount on the website there, or if you want to give one-time donation, you can do that. And that just helps helps pay us. That helps pay our bills, actually. I got an email from him. Melanie is asking how Model is doing. I got a email from him. He's still doing the same as far as I know. I haven't gotten a recent update in the last week or not. But to all of you guys who have donated to us, thank you for being part of our community and supporting us. If you want to become a pillar, that just means you commit to donating every month, and then we'll put you in our Facebook group where we are going to start up our monthly chats again. I've totally missed doing those, so we're going to be doing that. If you're a pillar, you'll be able to connect with us on Zoom. And I'm also going to be working with one of my other pillars, Mark. I'm going to be creating a Bible News Radio prayer/journal. And I've had this vision for many years. Because when I was listening to my radio mentor, Janet Parshall, many years ago, I would always write down a gazillion things when I was listening to her show. And I thought, I see our show as a classroom. Actually, I see life as a classroom. So that's just my thing. If I listen to a TV show, I'm always looking for the lesson. If you're going to be committed to our classroom, so to speak, then, I want you to have a tool that you can follow and all that. So I'm actually in the process of developing this. And when it launches, the pillars are going to be the first people to see it and get a hold of it. And I think it's just going to be cool. At least I think it's going to be cool. So if you want to be part of my beta group in that and you're not a pillar, just let me know and I'll put you on the list for when I start sending stuff out before I actually send stuff to print, because I have a vision. I think it's going to be cool. And I also have the Unstuck Club. I haven't forgotten about that. I've been taking care of my dad a lot, so a lot of this other stuff has been kind of put to the back burner as I, make my dad a priority, which he should be, right? So just know that when you donate to us, that actually makes my life easier too, because then I can still take care of my dad and not stress out as much, with income and things. So yeah. So our show is almost over. So do you guys have any comments or questions? Bareface, you have any comments or questions before we end the show? And in an hour, I go talk to David.
Yeah, you can get my questions and comments all the time. You poor thing. But
that's true, actually. 28 years I've known you, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. That's like a long time.
Coming up on 28 anyway.
Gosh, you make me feel old.
Yeah. But
By the way, thanks for the hearts on Periscope.
Indeed. I'd rather hear from the folks out there that are...
Hi, Diane. Thanks for coming in.
Watching.
Great show.
Rather get their comments and questions.
Oh, Chap says, great show. Thanks, you two lovebirds. Aw. You might have enjoyed the other ones we did earlier this week on the gay agenda.
Oh, you got it before it came up here.
Oh, yeah.
You got the comment before it showed up here.
We are lovebirds. That's true. By the way, I should say that if you guys have not gotten your window bird feeder yet, you should go to Amazon and look up these bird feeders. They are so fun. I'm serious. Just put they're made out of plexiglass or plastic or whatever. Anyway, and you stick them to your window and you put bird seed in them, and the birds literally come to your window. And we get cardinals. I get mourning doves. I haven't really seen any robins. Grackles, stay away. We got little chickadee type birds that come in. Have you seen any blue jays yet?
I suspect you're asking me.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen any blue jays. In fact, this year I haven't seen any.
But the red cardinals, the cardinals come in, and it's funny. I've learned that the female cardinals are gray and the males are red because they're more noticeable. Mm. And Randall actually for the first time heard a cardinal talk.
Well, I've heard cardinals for
you just didn't
all
know
the time.
It was a cardinal.
I just didn't know. You just hear them in the trees. There are I would say dozens of bird calls in the morning.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of super hearts.
Spring and summer, you go outside, you hear all these birds, and some have they all, I'm sure they all have a distinct call, but there's ones that I hear more often than others. And so to have this bird sitting right outside our window and doing its call, it's like, oh, that call belongs to that bird. So now it's just kind of neat that when I go out, when I hear this, then I'll know. Okay, those are cardinals.
You know what birds, though, are the most pushy and territorial? The mourning doves. I keep wanting to call them pigeons because they look like them. It's so funny.
Similar.
Their heads are really little and they're big fat bodies. But the cardinals are really cute. They got and there's a couple of different types of cardinals. There's some cardinals, they keep their head feathers down. And then there's other cardinals that will come and they'll put their feathers up so that they look really super cool. I've placed a couple of videos on my Instagram thing. So, yeah. I know, bird talk. Have a wonderful weekend, you two. Yes, I'm planning on it. I'm going to play pickleball tomorrow. I played today. I played really good today, by the way. Yeah, I did. Speaking of that, it's the pickleball. Here it is. All right, so is our show almost over?
Yeah, you're You gonna do that again?
Do you want me to?
Nah.
Sure.
Um,
Didn't work.
no, we're seeing the top of your head now, though.
Did I like throw it over there? Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Oh. Can you believe I missed it? That's funny. All right, you guys. Monday is our other show. We'll be back Monday. So don't forget, remember, be bold, people. Stand up and go with God. And don't forget to join my email list if you're not on it at BibleNewsRadio.com. Support our sponsors and our guests and all of that. And we'll see you on Monday. All right.